Okay. So I'm here today with Penny. Penny, please introduce yourself and thank you so much for doing this testimonial video for me.
Mm, my name is Penny Lacasso, and I am a happiness hacker. So I'm a coach, I'm a speaker, I'm an author, and I'm a lover of life.
And I'm so honored that I got to work with you on your journey. And I could go on and about you all day, but I just want to ask you a few questions. I'm really aimed at anyone who's considering coaching. So why is it that you already had a successful business? You've already spoken at stages
Mm,
all around the world. You already had the book. You already had the brand. What is it that made you decide to set up that initial call with me?
I was looking for something different. I was looking for an edge, and I was looking on what the next evolution of my business looked like. And I think I had been searching for a coach for about 6 months and just couldn't find the right person. And we had met before, and we'd also had a conversation, a couple of conversations before I booked the call. And I don't know, I'm a big believer in gut feelings, and there was something about you in my gut. I just thought, there's more to this. There's an opportunity here.
Amazing. I'm so happy you set up that call. And that was a good one. I mean, I look back
Um,
at the last 6, 7 months and I'm like, whoa, we've done so much together. It's so cool. So
mm,
where were you at in your business when we started, and where would you say you're at in your business now?
yeah, where was I at? I was coming off the back of 2 years in, I think, what they call one of the most locked down cities in the world, which had a huge impact on my business because I'm a lover of human connection. And I, before COVID, used to spend my days traveling the world speaking. And I'd spent the last 2 years speaking to a screen. And I'd gotten to the point where I was fortunate enough to make money in COVID, but I was sitting there going, if this is what the future looks like, I feel like my soul's being sucked out. I'm going to have to reinvent myself again. I'm very good at reinventing myself. But I was just looking for what next, and how was I going to create something that was sustainable, because the cash flow felt really sporadic. So that was kind of where I was at. I also think I was probably a bit lost. I think you go through stages in business, and I was a bit lost because I was like, what am I going to do if this kind of format of work continues? So that was where I was.
Yeah, switching to that online income, and there's virtual stages, but having that other layer of cash flow is huge.
Absolutely.
And what would you say are some of the biggest results you got in the last 7 months, or the biggest wins that you celebrated?
Oh, it was like, and I remember we had this conversation early on. I would never have said this when I worked in the corporate world, but it's like once you commit to investing in the journey and doing the work, it's like you open a door somewhere in the universe, and things just kind of flowed through. I started getting coaching clients that were dream clients. I started getting speaking opportunities that were dream clients again. And then there was all of these other opportunities that had been lifelong dreams that started to flow through as well. So it was just, it was kind of magical when you stepped into knowing what you wanted the future to look like and decided to commit to doing the work, how it kind of just, like I say, it was like someone flicked a switch and all of these opportunities started to flow through.
Yeah, there were so many opportunities that came through. And to think, and I know you said this publicly so I can share, but in the beginning, you're like, I don't like the word coach. I don't want to call myself a coach. And this is something you struggled with. And I know I just saw you posted a reel about it. And to go from that to you're signing dream clients, you have a group program, like you're a coach, like you are the master at reels. Anyone watching this can go check out your reels on Instagram. And you're just thriving in this other layer of your business. It wasn't even just a total pivot. It was just a new layer to your business that was added on. That being said, we built a lot of we did a lot of the structural changes for that pivot in order to support that. How clear would you say you are in your next steps in building your business now from where we left off?
It's such a good question. I think one of the key things that I learned from you, I think we have this tendency in business, when, especially when we're on our own, like we try something and if it doesn't work, we're like, oh, there's this whole perception of pivot, and fail fast. And I think what I learned was that some of that's just bullshit. Like for me now, I'm so clear and I'm so in alignment with the way things are working that for me, it's almost like, how do I stay the course and just level it up?
Mm.
If that makes sense, because the strategy is so clear and it's working. And the reason I know it's working is because every client that knocks on my door says to me, I feel like when I read your content, like you're speaking directly to me, like you can see inside of my life. And I can't tell you, like, that just feels like it's such a reward for doing the work to understand who they are and to be able to speak their language. And that is what, that's what brings people in. And I'm
Absolutely.
proud now to call myself a coach. I had such a bias around perception that, the word coach was a bit, I don't know, there was no substance to it. And because anyone can be one, it really diluted the value of it. But I just feel so grateful that I get to do the work that I do. And I'm really humbled to step into that space, because that's the other thing. I think you can look at every situation in two ways. You can look at it from the perspective of saying, well, there's so many coaches and it's not valuable. Or you can say, I'm actually going to own a space in that world and be the value that people are looking for.
Exactly. And it was such a powerful shift for you.
Mm,
You've
I
accomplished
love
so
it.
much, like in 6 months, that transformation. And something I loved about working with the client is once the strategy was set, you're like, okay, what else can I do? Okay, what next? Okay, wait, this isn't going wrong. And you really played full out in the coaching as well. And I think that's the other thing to be said about coaching, because, and you see this with your clients now too, it's the coach isn't
Mm,
for you, but so a lot they're when they're there to hold you accountable to that course and they show you just the structure and the strategy. If you play your part, which you absolutely did, your execution was phenomenal. When you play your part, that's where the results are born. And we just had this beautiful magic that came together that got you where you are right now. And I'm just I'm so thrilled, and it's so fulfilling for me because I know you're carrying that energy now onto your clients as well.
mm. Yeah, I think you need someone. It's like we were talking about before we hit record, you are capable of so much more than you realize. And just having that external voice to show up to every week and hold the mirror to that capacity that you can't see is just so powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. And for anyone else who's maybe on the fence about coaching, or they're considering it and they just haven't clicked to book the first call yet, what advice would you give that person?
I'd say book the call. And the reason I'd say book the call, and I'd say book, and you were a huge advocate of this, I'd say book a couple of calls with different people, because, finding you was a gift, but it was a gift because I had been looking and I'd spoken to a lot of coaches, and you've got to have that connection and you've got to have that trust, because that is what creates a great relationship and also creates the momentum for you to achieve, like I say, things you didn't realize.
Yeah, I love that. Penny, thank you so much again for doing this little interview with me. If anyone wants to reach out to you, I'm sure they can find you because your tag is right here on Zoom. Thank you so much again and have a great day.
Absolute pleasure too.